Jake and Marcus are 30 years old, earn the same salary, and are looking at the exact same $40,000 car. Jake writes a check for $40,000. He walks out with the keys and the title, securing a zero balance, no monthly payments, and no interest. Marcus takes a different route. He keeps his $40,000 in the bank and signs a promotional, low-interest financing deal, committing to a monthly payment for the next 5 years. From the outside, society validates Jake. He's praised for his responsibility and discipline. Marcus, meanwhile, is viewed as financially burdened, carrying a loan for a depreciating asset. Jake's choice is driven by a biological need for security. If you grew up in a household where money was a source of stress, your brain is wired to associate a zero balance with safety. Eliminating debt feels like removing a threat. But that survival instinct can be a liability. By prioritizing the feeling of safety, Jake just stepped into a trap designed by the modern financial system. This is the cost of emotional math. It prioritizes the relief of being debt-free over the logic of wealth building, often making the most responsible feeling decision a quiet drain on your future net worth. Behind the scenes, Jake's cash payment changed the negotiation. Because a dealership views the car loan as a primary profit center, removing the financing meant they had no incentive to drop the price. Jake likely paid thousands more for the car than he would have if he'd been a financing buyer. This lack of flexibility at the dealership is a micro version of the macro banking system, a system that relies on people who fear debt to fund its own growth. Banks operate on net interest margin. They take deposits and lend them out as high-interest credit card debt, or they buy safe, high-yield government bonds. The bank uses your cash to earn 4% while paying you pennies. Marcus realized that if he kept his cash, he could stop being the bank's customer and start acting like the bank himself. He traded his auto loan as cheap capital. Marcus put his $40,000 into treasury bills. Since the government's interest is higher than his car's interest, he creates a positive spread. He's effectively getting paid to hold a loan. Marcus now has $40,000 in liquid cash for emergencies or investments. Jake's capital is trapped in a vehicle that loses value every day. Attempting to bypass the system by paying cash doesn't remove you from the game. It simply turns your savings into the capital the system uses to build someone else's wealth. When we extend this timeline to 30 years, the mathematical advantage of holding cheap debt becomes even more lopsided. Over 3 decades, inflation erosion changes the real weight of a loan. While his mortgage payment is fixed, the dollar's value drops, shrinking the debt's real cost as his income rises. Simultaneously, the $40,000 not spent on a down payment is compounding, earning reinvested interest. By year 20, the growth on Marcus's investments can eclipse the remaining balance of his debt. Jake, who focused entirely on paying down his mortgage, has a paid-off house, but must now spend his 50s trying to build a retirement fund from zero. Cheap debt acts as a tool that allows time to destroy your liabilities while your assets grow. This strategy relies on one critical factor that math can't account for: human behavior. Marcus's plan only works if he has the discipline to actually invest the cash. If he doesn't, the debt becomes a genuine burden. If that $40,000 is spent on lifestyle upgrades, new clothes, better restaurants, or more expensive vacations, the arbitrage collapses. This is hedonic adaptation, and it is the primary reason high earners stay in debt. Building wealth requires a focus on substance over the performance of being debt-free. Having liquid capital that compounds in the background provides financial autonomy. It's the ability to make decisions from a position of strength rather than desperation. Those who successfully build long-term independence don't fear the financial system. They understand its mechanics and use its own leverage to their advantage. To understand the hidden math behind your daily financial decisions, like this video and subscribe to Wealth Psyche. We'll see you in the next one.